So here we have our next match. We have Tiersa Cannon versus Maggie Giordano. Now this is a rematch. These two fought recently, and Tiersa came out to win. And actually, Maggie said that's the main reason why she's coming out here tonight, because she wants that back. She wants that. She wants to get that match back. So this is going to be a grudge match here.
Here we go, round one.
All right. So both athletes looking to wrestle here, and that tells me both prefer to play on top. Looks like both athletes here, they're trying to get good collar ties, get inside control. This is a blue belt match as well, and both of these competitors are blue belts. There we go. And Tiersa hits a nice takedown there, and it looks like she's already in immediately on a pass. She hasn't cleared the knee quite yet, but she is starting to flatten Maggie out, and it looks like here we go. We've got a pretty clean pass at this point. One of the other advantages here, when you're in a cage like this, right, and they probably teach you this in MMA fights, is it's great to bring the fight into your corner, right? So here, you've got Tiersa right up against her coach's ear, and she's able to hear the advice, and her opponent Maggie, this coach, is all the way on the other side, trying to shout across and shout over Tiersa's coach, and that can make it difficult when you can't hear your coach, and oftentimes makes it much easier for the opponent who's on the offense if they can push in the match.
All right, heavy pressure from Tiersa here. But a little bit entangled into the leg. She has to get past before she can start looking for submissions here. But she's walking slowly but surely to the cage to start working her pass. And she's almost there. She just has to get past that knee.
Yeah. Very good use of the body lock pass there. The thing about the cage is the cage can be used by both opponents, right? If you put your opponent up against the cage, it creates a lot of pressure, but it also creates an opportunity for them to be able to walk themselves up the cage. Like as you can see here, right? Maggie's starting to use the cage and potentially being able to create some explosionary, the ability to explode out and maybe create some space and get her guard back, or potentially get up.
That's very tough here. I've seen on the video game UFC 4 that she could use the cage right now to actually reverse to her own side control to be on top.
Yeah, it can be tough. It can definitely be tough, but it can be done. One of the things that you can worry about here, actually, specifically with the cage and the setup, is it's actually very easy to get into buggy chokes from bottom side control. Now, Tiersa's doing a really good job. She's got a gift wrap here. She's got that grip. She was looking to try and get the back here, and it looks like she's got one hook in her second leg. Her knee is posted out to prevent the roll, and all right, Maggie's trying to roll her over because Tiersa was a little bit high, but Tiersa is already working the arm underneath the neck. She's got one hand pinned. She's got the arm. This is tight. This is very tight. I think she's going to get the finish here. Little quick ankle lock look there. Maggie noticed that Tiersa's ankles were crossed.
If you're on someone's back and you're crossing your ankles, your opponent can actually feed their legs over and ankle lock you, surprisingly. So that is just a day one jiu-jitsu hack. Do not do that.
All right, so we're back to a more traditional back here. Now, Maggie's doing a really good job at pushing and framing and pushing her back, which can make it tough. And now Tiersa's going to have to climb up the top. She's going to have to climb up the top, or she can lose this, or she's going to have to switch to a triangle or an armbar grip. Oh, she does a really good job of pulling Maggie back over there. Now you see here, what Maggie's doing is Maggie's pushing pressure back, and she's trying to walk her chest really, really high, which makes it really tough for Tiersa to get this. Oh, but Tiersa's got the rear naked choke grip locked up. She's getting a nice tight squeeze here. It might not be fully under the chin, but this is a dangerous position. This is very dangerous for Maggie right now.
Maggie tough as nails, not tapping here.
Yeah, sometimes those face squeezes can be the worst thing in all of jiu-jitsu, really. It's just a not fun position to be in, but the choke isn't quite on because you're not cutting off oh, and there we go. That's time. All right. So we end round 1 without a submission, but I would say we would definitely give that to Tiersa if this was a scored round.
For sure.
Obviously, they're not, though.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like she just got to display a lot of her jiu-jitsu here, and it's still anyone's game.
Yeah, she was able to really implement a lot of game, and this is one of the interesting things too about the arena format, right? Is you work really hard to earn those positions, but you need to earn the finishes just as much, and you should really take that to heart because you could do all that work and dominate round 1 and not get the finish, and then let's say round 2 there's no finish, and round 3 you make one mistake. Whole thing is over.
We saw this with Jesse Romano and Michael Du.
Yes, exactly. Last time.
Jesse Romano looked like a savage in rounds 1 and 2, but he didn't get a submission. Michael Du, he got a heel hook in round 3 and ended up winning that match. So this rule set is really, it can be anyone's game at any time.
Yeah, on the surface, it seems like a very forgiving rule set, and in the sense that you can get tapped out, right, and you can still come back and win a match, which there's really no formats out there where you can lose a round by submission and then still come back and win a match. Oh, beautiful takedown here by Tiersa, but she's got to clear the guillotine grip here. She's doing a good job at putting pressure on, and she's out of the risk of submission. But this also can be one of the least forgiving type of rule sets because you can be dominating and dominating and dominating a match, and you can even dominate to a submission. And then if you're not on top of it or you waste too much energy in rounds 1 and 2, you could end up losing the whole thing.
Right.
All right, so here we are back into a full closed guard. Maggie's going to want to try and break down Tiersa's posture here. Tiersa's pushing her up against the cage. It's going to... Maggie's doing a good job of trying to break down the posture here. Tiersa's trying to create space, keep a good posture. She's got her knee inside, and she's trying to use that to split open the guard. But Maggie's doing a very good job here at holding. Tiersa able to put Maggie back up against the cage. It can be very uncomfortable if you're in a bottom closed guard with your head pushed up against the cage. All right, now we're into an open guard here, K guard here, and now it looks like Maggie might be potentially looking at coming in underneath for a leg. Tiersa's got really good top pressure here. She's got her shoulder blades flattened out, and this can be really tough. Once you get someone flattened out here from a half guard position, this is one of the hardest positions to come back from and not get past. Tiersa doing a good job here at just trying to pry her leg free. Maggie doing a good job at trying to get a lockdown here on Tiersa's leg, but Tiersa's able to keep that tight upper body pressure, which makes it really hard for Maggie to do anything other than just trying to hold and slow everything down.
They call it half guard because it's half and half. It's a stale position for both people. You can do a lot of things on either top or bottom, but if you're on bottom and your back is flat while you're in a half guard, you're actually in a really bad spot. So Maggie wants to get to the side here. She looks like she's trying to extend Tiersa's leg to try to set up her either defense or attacks from here. But this pressure from Tiersa is relentless.
And one of the things that I always tell people who are newer to watching jiu-jitsu or even newer to doing jiu-jitsu, we have a beautiful pass here by Tiersa. One of the things that I always tell people is jiu-jitsu is a game of isolation, right? You're trying to isolate limbs. So generally speaking, counting limbs versus limbs can tell you who's in a more advantageous position. So right now, Tiersa's got both of her legs, both of her arms, and her head engaged against Maggie's 2 arms and her head, right? She's past the hips.
Yes.
And so when you're watching jiu-jitsu and you see like a half guard, everything is even, right? They're both basically a 3 and 3 limb, and their heads are equal. So that's one of the things I always like to tell people who are newer at jiu-jitsu when you're watching. Take a look at how many limbs are fighting how many limbs, and you can oftentimes decide who's in the more advantageous position. So Tiersa here, what she's trying to do is she's trying to create a dilemma. She's either trying to force Maggie to roll over like she did so she can take the back, or give up an arm isolation, which would allow her to do some other different competitions. Now, this can be a grueling fight for Maggie on bottom here. Oh, here we go. We got an armbar attempt here from Tiersa. Tiersa trying to break connection. She's got a tight armbar, and there's a tap. All right. Wow. Beautiful armbar there from Tiersa.
Short time, too.
Yep.
At the end of the round.
Yep, right at the end of the round. And that was a good adjustment from Tiersa, right? She got to the back at the end of the first round, and she had time. And she wasn't able to get the finish despite being on the back for a minute, 2 minutes, and some solid time. She knew there was short time. She had the back, and instead of just focusing on trying to go right back to finishing the rear naked choke, which is oftentimes the more conventional wisdom, she decided to fall off the top and go for a risk and take the armbar, which if she didn't get it, she would have ended up in bottom position, but she knew there was short time.
Yes. Very impressive performance from Tiersa so far. But here we are in round 3.
Yep. So here we are in round 3. It's going to be interesting. If Maggie gets a submission here, then we'll move into round 4. If Maggie does not get a submission, or Tiersa gets a submission, then Tiersa takes the match.
Right. And round 4 being that no time limit overtime.
So I think you're going to see Maggie really pushing the pace coming out the gate here, because she knows that she can't just survive this round and move on. She needs to get a sub, and she wanted this match. She called this match because she knew that she was close. I believe she lost to Tiersa in overtime, and I think she knows that she has a path to victory here. So you're going to see her really trying to push. She's not going to want to concede bottom position. Tiersa's been successful twice at getting the initial takedown and then spending the entirety of the round on top, and I think Maggie knows that, so she's going to really fight hard to not end up on bottom. Trying to say Inagi here.
But she ends up on the back.
But see, that's where the cage comes into play, right? That Seyanagi, you can't really hit that Seyanagi if you run into a cage that way.
Exactly.
Oh. Clean double from Tiersa. She ends up in a full guard, though. And we've got right back into this position where now Maggie, kind of like what I said about the limbs. So here you can see Maggie's got all 4 of her limbs up against Tiersa's 2. And Tiersa has top position, so she has pressure.
Yes.
But from a pure submission standpoint, Maggie has more options right now than Tiersa does, because she has 2 of her limbs exposed and she's above the hip.
Yeah, Tiersa has almost no submission options while she's in a guard. So that's why she just did what she just did. She passed the guard beautifully here.
Yeah,
so that
beautiful.
She can set up her submissions again.
Beautiful pass. She's over in mount, and this is dangerous. There's a lot of time left in the round, right? And Tiersa was able to find the sub with hitting the pass later in the round, and she's got most of this round to work at this point. This is going to be difficult.
Tiersa could also not get a sub and still win the match, because she has the only submission that occurred so far in round 2.
All Tiersa needs to do is not get subbed in this round, but that doesn't look like what Tiersa's going for here, right?
Yeah, she
Tiersa
like
is looking for the finish. She wants to get that second sub.
Leave no question about who's the better grappler here in their second match.
Exactly. She wants to leave no question, and I feel like she really thought that she had that rear naked choke in round 1, and I think she wants to make sure that she's able to get a finish here. It looks like she might have some potential here for a head and arm triangle. We can't see exactly the angle, or she might be looking to take a gift wrap. But Yep, she uses the gift wrap to chair sit. Now, she's climbing that leg because she's looking for the arm bar here. She's looking to finish with another arm bar. Now, this is a dangerous position. She was able to get the finish here. And Maggie's able to walk along the wall, and she might be able to use this. Oh, and there's the tap. All right. So we have your winner, Tiersa Cannon.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling after that dominant performance?
Looks like you've had a busy year, Tiersa. We got gold at the finishers sub only. You got gold at Good Fight Worlds. And is it true you guys just went against each other recently, and that's how you got gold at Good Fight Worlds in overtime against Maggie?
That's correct. But I was happy for a rematch because in overtime she basically handed me the armbar because she had her arm in the time. So I was glad we got a rematch. Got to meet her up again on more equal terms.
What's up next for you?
Next up, I think I'm going to be doing Naga, February, end of February, and after that, I'd like to do pans in March in Dallas.
Is that going to be gi pants?
No gi.
No gi pants. No gi pants. Are you more of a no gi girl or a gi girl?
I'm all no gi, though. I did promise a friend that this year I'd compete once in the gi, so.
Anyone you want to shout out while you're here, Tiersa?
I'd like to shout out Paramount Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, of course. My home team, they train for me every day. I wouldn't be here without them. I'd like to shout out my dad because he's my #1 supporter. I'm sad to be here with me today. It was weird warming up without him. I'd like to shout out all the friends I have here, the welcoming community, and Dreams MMA, of course.
Well, we got to tell you, I think you guys were the highest over-under match. We had you on Instagram at 83% of a win with Maggie at 17, so congratulations. It looks like they stuck true to the word and to what other people thought, so good luck in the future.
Thank you.